There you are. What is going on? We're gonna do a little update on the old hearse here. Nothing too crazy, too exciting today. Just getting these fuel lines and my air line to the bag here. Getting those mounted on the frame. Nothing too crazy. Just got some little plastic zip tie clips, and we're just pop riveting those into the frame and giving me a good place to zip tie to. I like using the zip ties because if I had, if something changes up, I got to add something or take away something from the system, it's simple. Just pop the zip tie out and install whatever else. If I got to run an extra line or an extra this or an extra that, simple. Just cut the zip tie and replace it. So it's kind of the plan today. I just realized you guys can't see what I was doing right there. Ha! All right, well, get to see on the next one, right? So, just simple, easy little job today. Figure if I can get these fuel and air lines mounted hard to the frame, it's one less thing I got to worry about later. And might even get the chance to run my vapor line and the air line down the other side. So let's see what we can do here today. Okay, right about, actually I think I'm gonna put one right here. That way it can act like a little bit of strain relief. Try to get it right next to that weld. Right about here. All right. These little dudes. I'm using a 3/16 rivet. I think these are made more for like what's it say, number 8, which is just a shade smaller than 3/16. So just gotta clean them up a little bit with the drill bit to make the rivet fit in there. So, like so. Nice and square and even where I want them. Just like that. Just like that. Neighbor's dog is saying hi. These little guys right here are your best friends if you're using zip ties. Because nobody likes it when you leave the tails on your zip ties. Cut them off. Looks so much cleaner. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run these all the way down. I'm gonna bring that air line right here, and then just kind of have it hanging out right here, because the partition wall will be here, and the valve body for the air system will be mounted to the partition wall. That way it's easy for me to service, easy to get to. So I'm just run all my air lines to the center of the car right here. Once we get the floor in, bring the air lines up through some grommets, plug them into the valve body. So I'm gonna knock the rest of this out. All right, so we've got our brake line, fuel, and air lines all secured, nice and neat. Got my pigtail for my air ride going on up in there. Probably gonna put one or two more up there. Do that in a little bit. But there's this side. So we need to do the same thing down this side, but first we gotta get that vapor line hooked up. So let's get that going next. Okay. So got some rubber vapor line here. When you're dealing with fuel systems, make sure you're using the proper stuff. Don't use water line hose or heater hose if it's going to be on fuel. It won't last. Make sure you buy, like, this is fuel vapor hose. And being that it's fuel vapor hose means it's only good till about 50 PSI. You'll buy fuel line, rubber fuel line that is for fuel injection, has a much higher PSI rating. This is just for the charcoal vent. So we only need a little piece. Either way, but yeah, make sure when you're dealing with fuel stuff, you're buying the right stuff. Make sure you buy fuel rated nylon if you so choose to run nylon. And the rubber is fuel rated as well. So this is real simple. We're just gonna run a 3/8 vapor line here. So we'll put that, get that on that for a second. That way we can get that out of the way. Run that kind of like where we ran the fuel line. There we go. Just bring that up here. Get that off of there. Squish that on there. And then squish that on there. Easy peasy. And we'll get a little zip tie to kind of hold it in place for time being. I actually think I might end up putting one of those zip tie mounts here and there. Actually, I might do that. I like that idea. All right, since this is just a vapor line, I'm going to just zip tie this on here. You can, if you so choose, put a hose clamp on this, but there is no pressure, there's barely any vacuum on it. So nice tight zip tie will keep that from coming off, I guess. Maybe not, there we go. Maybe it'll help if I use better zip ties. Try that again. Yeah, that's better. Okay, That's better. There, that ain't going nowhere. Get rid of that tail just because they drive me nuts. Okay. Now we're going to, yep. Just wanted to make sure I got my zip ties going the right way when it comes to grabbing this line under here. There we go. Make sure they match the other side. Okay. So, and like so. I'll just keep it out of harm's way and keep it from getting the airbag from getting a hold of it. All right. Yeah. I like it. I like it. All right. So we got fuel vapor line heading up to the front and airline heading up to the front. So we're just gonna rinse and repeat on this side what we did on that side, get all our little holes drilled, rivet the holders in place, and that will secure all the fuel lines and the rear air lines. Well, we got the factory vapor line right there, so we're just going to do the same thing we did in the back. Comes to a section of rubber fuel line here. Stick that like that. Figure out right about where we got to go. Go figures right there. We might trim that back just a little bit maybe. I think we will. Making sure I cut the right line. I got 3/8 air line and 3/8 vapor line. That would have sucked. Well, I guess not, because we're past where we need to be at the air line, so we would have had enough. All right, just slide that through the hole right here without kinking it. Hopefully. There we go. Nice. And then make friends with the rubber line here. Like so. Get on there. Actually, I think I'm gonna do. Probably should. Oh, that went up on there pretty good. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, send that back through again. Mumble, mumble, mumble. There we go. And get them attached to each other. Have them make friends. Tighten that zip tie up. You can use clamps on those if you so choose. Like I said, there's no nothing on that line. I might put one more of these right here. I think I will. But there's no pressure or anything on that line. So you really don't even need the zip tie. Zip tie is just a little bit of reassurance for me. I know that they won't come back apart. But if you look at a lot of those other, the factory lines and stuff like that, you'd notice the factory lines, they don't even have clamps on the vapor line. It's just a piece of hose shoved up on the plastic. Granted, there is a little bit of a barb built into that plastic. Oh, I forgot to drill that. No. But still, because there's no pressure, there's no vacuum of any kind, and especially on this car being a 94, and it's technically OBD1, even though it is running OBD2 like software. It's kind of hard to explain. 94, 95 was the kind of change over years from OBD1 to OBD2. So, that's a bad zip tie. I'm looking for that one. There we go. These really don't look for evap leaks. Evaporative emission leaks, I should say. I don't think. I could be wrong on that. I can't remember. I can't remember when they started doing that. Thinking it was more towards late 90s, mid to late 90s, when they actually had a truly dedicated OBD2 emission system diagnostics. So yeah, here we go. This is all done up. Fuel, vapor, and air. Just get find a happy spot to cut this air line. About there. Like I said, got all our fuel line, brake line, and air line. And then now our air line and our vapor line running all the way up to the original line here that goes up to the charcoal canister. That's back behind the bumper. And like I said, the partition wall is going to be right in this general area, just behind the door post is where we'll have our partition wall. So these air lines, that valve body, my guess that valve body is going to be like right about here on the wall. I want it right there in the middle, central, so that way when I hit, make them all go up, it's kind of the same distance from the valve body to the bags. It'll be the same distance, so they all kind of react similar to each other, and there's obviously going to be more weight up front than there is in the back. But that's so I know not a very cool or exciting update here. It's kind of rather boring, and I know that. I apologize, but it's those little things that need to get done and need to get done right. Fuel lines are nothing you want to mess with. The fuel lines on this car that I replaced came out of a kind of build it your own self kit. They just more or less, they send you 30, 40 feet of 3/8 and 5/16 line, and then the miscellaneous little fittings to go on the end. And then you just need to take a heat gun and practice this a few times. You just take a heat gun, warm that nylon line up, and then they send you these fittings. These fittings are really nice. This kit, I got this kit off Amazon. It was not the world's most expensive kit by any means. But so the kit is pretty darn nice because the fittings they gave me, the end that goes over the line, as you can see right there, there's actually an O-ring. So when you shove that nylon line over here, you have a barb, O-ring, and 2 more barbs. And that's actually better than what the factory does. The factory does not use an O-ring on their fittings. They just, like I said, I used a heat gun, warmed the end of that line up. It takes a little bit of practice. I had the fitting itself in the vise and just gently heated that line up and slid it on there. Did put just a drop of soap on the end of this to kind of lubricate it, especially that O-ring. Get that O-ring, you can use a little spit if you had to. And then slid it up on there and then just let it cool. As soon as it cools off, you've got a fitting that, you've got a line that just isn't coming apart. These things are pretty good. I like them. They seem to be highly rated on Amazon too, so that was kind of nice. That's how I built all my fuel lines for the car. As you guys seen today, the vapor line was just 3/8 line and some hose. So easy peasy stuff. I don't know what else I'm going to do today. Besides clean up a little bit. I got 1,000 zip tie tails under the car and some other mess I need to clean up. It is Christmas Eve, so I can't be out here too long today. I'm surprised I'm even out here at all, but we weren't doing anything exciting in the house, so it was a choice between video games and coming out here and making a little bit of progress. I thought I'd come out here and make a little bit of progress. Final note, if you're actually still watching this video by now, I'm impressed, but I can't understand why anybody would want to watch me do this, and I don't think who knows, this may not last long. But if anybody has a lead on this style coach light, let me know. Comments, message me, whatever. Let me know if anybody has one of those coach lights. I need one. Other than that, happy Honda days, Merry Crisis. Whatever holidays you celebrate. Hopefully it's a good one. Enjoy. And next time I post a video, I will be putting that piece of pipe to work. We're going to notch the back frame rails and get the exhaust done. And maybe, just maybe, fire it up. It's been a year since this car's ran. I was nice enough to throw the battery charger on it, get the batteries charged up. So yeah, maybe next video we might hear this thing run again. Be kind of cool. So enjoy the holidays, stay safe.